Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another video. I'll be reading your comments in this video about the recent solar nations, I think number 28. So let's just hop right into it. Was it planned, or the discovery was only lucky? A funny thing about that whole scenario is that first off, KSP was being its crackeny self. So what happened was, when the ships rammed each other, it actually bounced off of one another as if indestructible parts and stuff was enabled. So when I rebooted KSP, it finally started working, and that's when I did a little something different. Just before impact, I initiated the engines of the Discovery and tried to veer out of the way. So the damage was real, and if both ships had not made it, then I would have made a story about that. He plans little to anything in this. Precisely. Why didn't they just fire their missiles? Why didn't the Horse use its missiles? Why did they not use their missiles? Has the Allies learned of this yet? No, actually, they haven't. Even with the big giant antenna with all the new relay technologies, it's still too far away. What would they do with the science, however? What? Yeah, right there. Discovery Captain, Mad Lad confirmed, spoilers. Half of his ship exploded, correct. Sacrificed himself for the Alliance, incorrect, because he doesn't even know the Alliance exists. Landed on Ike with an EVA pack, correct. Planted a flag in defiance of the KU. Actually, he planted a flag in honor of both crews for their bravery and valor and all that stuff. Dies a slow, brutal death from radiation and CO2 poisoning. Actually, in reality, if all he had to do was depressurize his suit or even take his helmet off, and the vacuum of space would have rendered him unconscious in a matter of seconds. And then all of this would have happened later, but with the added bonus of him not even feeling it. So, 2 out of 5.
You're out of there! Go on, you're gone. Go on.
Was it actually needed to have the first interdrive plane have 2 sets of wings? Yes and no. You know, I could have made the wing longer, having just one wing in a sense, but I wanted it to, you know, kind of let you guys know that the history and the times that we were dealing with was that of a biplane type of era. So, yeah. When both nations interact, will we get to know the inner workings of their governments and learn some kind of subplot where one of the factions of the Union breaks off and suddenly colonizes a new part of space and warships to guide war a knee direction Lauren Epson? What the? Okay, so I think I understand what you're saying, and yes, as the story goes on, you're always going to have different Kerbals thinking with different ways and different nations and people believing in different things. And there's going to be some conflict between them. So even if the Alliance, you know, wins or whatever the case is, even though if the Alliance is completely becomes the whole world of Kerbin, eventually the Kerbals that colonize Mars might see things differently than Kerbin and start their own government. Or Jewel, for instance. You know, there's a lot of moons around Jewel. And that could mean a lot of things, a lot of different cultures and subcultures and whatnot. So, no, there won't be one centralized government wins all. Eventually, there will be new governments involved in things of this nature. So, you know, it's a work in progress. And something tells me that we're going to be doing this for a very long time. Uh-oh, he did an evil laugh. Will there really be tanks? Don't lie to the people. Promo code VEOS buys nothing but respect. Respect. Find out what it means, etc., etc. Laugh my ass off. Be honest now. How long did it take you to do that 5-second montage? Totally worth it though. Couple minutes, maybe, give or take. I want to know how you get the bombers up in the air, because I made a version of the cargo plane into one of these and it didn't work, so I don't know. Well, if you go on Discord, there are download links for the craft files. You will need BD Armory, and it's the craft files are version 1.7, so you can use those. But if you had problems with it getting up in the air, know that the interdrive does have limits on how much it can carry into the air. So far I've been able to carry about 5 tons. Also, try to remember that if you're launching from the runway, then the runway is going to be a lot smoother than the ground. So if you're launching from the ground, you're going to need a boost, unless of course your craft is light enough, in which case you won't need a boost. But for many of the crafts that I've made for the electric propeller aircraft, they all have a boost engine on them to get them off of the ground, because of the fact that I guess the ground has more traction than, say, a runway. So yeah, that's going to be a thing, by the way. Montage win. Fuck if I know. Will this be in the next Q&A? Surprise! Now, right quick, a lot of you were wondering why he rammed, how I was going to make that work with the fact that the missiles don't work in-game. The thing that I can only think of at the time was to ram the ship, because of the fact that the KU captain, and you know, this will probably be found out later, so spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear anything, skip a couple minutes down the road, okay? They find out that the crew of the horse, actually something went wrong and the captain was the last one alive. And so he knew that if Discovery had taken the scientific data and gone back to Kerbin, that the URA would have a huge leap in technology. And he knew that if he left and went to Kerbin, then the KU would have a huge leap in technology. But the problem is that one side is already technologically superior to the other, so just leaping it up, it'll still be the same percentage on either side. So the URA will still have a technological advantage to the KU. Not only that, but they'd have more technology, which means more war, more famine, you know, more people dying. So the only thing that he could think of was to destroy both ships, and that's what his plan was. Okay, spoilers over. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for being a part of this channel. My channel's finally growing. It's finally starting to grow again. It's slow, maybe 2 or 3 subscribers a day or whatever the case may be. But eventually I'll start putting more content out, and it'll get better and better until things start ramping up. And I can't wait till that happens. Alright, well, I'm Veos, signing off, and have a good night.